Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on our team call. We are heading into July. Massive momentum is right here at our fingertips. We just had an amazing convention. We just launched Pivotal and the reset. We have so many things to help build our businesses right now. And so I really want to capture all of it tonight to get us all on the right page. So before we get started, I have asked 3 of our team members if they would talk about their experience from convention. And we're going to start with Emily D. Where are you at, love?
I'm here. I'm sorry. I went to my notes too quickly.
You're good. Go for it.
Okay. So do you need me to say anything specific, like where I rank or anything?
No, you don't have to. Just introduce yourself and what your biggest takeaways were from convention.
So I am Emily. I am Kristen's downline. I met a lot of you at convention. And 3 of my biggest takeaways is I kind of bulleted them was that people care, burning bridges, and increased confidence. So I came into convention I was not a very good poster. I post a lot about facts. I'm a factual person. I was a science major, so I don't really care about the other things, and I've always been taught like nobody really cares what you're doing. It's like your friends do and that's it. And so going to convention kind of got me out of that mindset. And I was telling Kristen a story at convention, like me and my boyfriend traveled. And when we first met, I drank 3 Red Bulls and 2 Cokes on a 5-hour drive. And now I drive 7 hours and I only took an active. So just kind of going into your own story, because it really does, it can relate to somebody. Even though you might think it's super minuscule, it'll always relate to somebody. And we kind of learned that in one of the sessions at convention, which I completely related to. Also burning bridges. I was somebody who worked 2 part-time jobs and I have a full-time career. And so I knew going into convention, like it was a lot plus Plexus. And I knew after Plexus, I knew I really wanted to put more energy into it, because I saw so many people who were so successful and walked on stage, and I wanted to be there right there with them. So this week I actually quit one of my part-time jobs because convention really inspired me to burn one of my bridges. So I'm getting there. And I truly do believe that Plexus could be way more than just a hobby. And that was thanks to convention. Before, it was just something that like, oh, I'll try and see what happens. And also my confidence, meeting all of the people in this group chat that you talk to every day in person and getting to know their story and who they are, really kind of gave me the confidence to post more and kind of be a little more vulnerable with the things that I talk about on my social media, which it still is a huge struggle for me. So I think just kind of putting yourself out there. I was somebody who was very new into it, and Kristen kind of kept putting convention in my ear, and I was like, oh, why not? It'll be kind of fun. And I'm so glad I went. I got a lot out of it.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. That was amazing. I had no idea, like, you decided to quit your job and move forward. Like, that is plan A, and that is simply amazing. I am so thankful to have you on this team, and thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to move on to Christine. She's going to share with us her biggest takeaways.
Hi, my name is Christine. My biggest takeaways were really knowing your why and having it like engrafted in your heart, like to where it's just there and used to help push through fear or, whatever it may be. Um, and that my story is my story, and being myself is what's needed. And those stories follow a formula: measured vulnerability, being authentic, painting a clear picture, so problem, solution, and then the hope I have. Um, Communicating a vision, which causes your audience to take action. That really stood out, because that's a pretty powerful thing. You know, what you're saying or doing, it would compel someone to, take action. And that's what we're doing. And then being able to feel the fear and go forward. And that action conquers fear. I have such fear and anxiety doing this tonight. I've been like, all, whatever. It's crazy. But pushing through it and doing it anyway. And then operating with audacity and integrity. Someone once told me that integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody's looking. And that always stuck with me. Owning my role and purpose and helping be that catalyst to get people aligned to where they want to be faster. And also making sure I take time to debrief, time for reflection, what was supposed to happen, what actually happened, and asking myself these questions and what needs to be changed. And then be brave, take risks, and nothing beats experience, was another thing. But I also have to say, showing up for my business, scheduling an appointment, which is like scheduling an appointment with myself, was another thing I took away, just the time blocking and everything like that.
That was awesome. I completely agree and can relate to so many things that you just said. One of the things that stood out to me, and I have it like bold, is action conquers fear. And that is so true. I have that written down and I read it to myself every single day. There's no way to get uncomfortable without getting uncomfortable. You have to push past those fears to grow. Nobody is a born entrepreneur. Nobody is born knowing all of the facts or all of the things. It's something that we learn, and new things are scary. Everything is scary, especially in the very beginning, but if we don't conquer that, we can't grow. So thank you so much for highlighting that tonight, Christine. And then we are going to go to our last speaker, who is Emily I.
Hi, everybody, it's Emily. So I would have to say my biggest, before going into my biggest takeaway, just this being my first convention was just awesome. And just being in like everyone's presence and feeling everyone's like positive energy, just that alone was huge for me. Never been in that type of situation where like there were so many people, and it was just a great experience overall. And I feel like I'm still on that high of like convention, like it hasn't wind down, and I occasionally still go on and replay certain things, still taking my notes and reviewing things. So for me, I would say my biggest takeaway is being more vulnerable, um owning my story and really putting it out there, um because you never know who will relate to it. And I think that's one of my biggest fears, just me putting my story out there, no one really caring or being like, oh, whatever, like not really noticing my post or not really commenting or replying. But then again, you never know who's really reading it and who's really affecting. And and it shows by like who's showing up in your messages. You know, they might not be commenting on who's viewing your story or giving you a thumbs up, giving you a heart. So like those people really are listening to your story, you know. And that's one thing. I've never been really on social media like that and putting myself out there. I've always been very private. So just being a part of this has really like taken me out of my comfort zone and having me put myself out there more, sharing my story, and really you know, being able to open up and share not just these products, but share my own experience with these products. You know, being being vulnerable. Another thing that really resonated with me was our last speaker, Carrie, which was amazing. And like, be tenacious, like that. Like I have that like right above my workstation at home in my office. Like I just wrote it in big Sharpie, like be tenacious. And I think that just has helped me like push through on, you know, not so easy days or just busy days. Like, all right, like I got this, you know. And especially the time blocking, um, that has helped me so much. And being able to block out my time on my calendar, like I go off a schedule and I'm very schedule oriented. And if I don't have that time blocked off, I won't do it. So I'm very happy that my husband is supportive and he knows like it's on the family calendar. Okay, you're busy. All right, like, you know, he knows. So that has been a big help in blocking out my time in the evening for certain things, especially, well, not certain things, but for Plexus, just to, you know, continue and growing my business and, you know, learning and going on all these different Facebook groups and, you know, just reading information and taking all this in. So um, those were like probably my biggest takeaways from the convention there.
Thank you so much for sharing. So these amazing women, this is their first convention, and these were their biggest takeaways. And truthfully, you know, leaders are born at events. There is no greater gift that Plexus could give us than to be together at these massive events. The speakers, the time, everything that they pour into these events are for us. I have to agree with you, Emily. Time blocking is a massive thing for me. I recently came home and time blocked my kids' schedule because their schedule was messing with my time blocking. So I time blocked them, and I have Alexa streaming throughout my house all day, every hour for them to do something different. And it's freeing. It truthfully is freeing. I know they're doing what they are supposed to do, and I'm still getting what I need to get done as well. And we find ourselves having way more time by blocking priorities. It's amazing. So I wanted to jump in here tonight and share some things that I would like to utilize for the month of July. Massive momentum is coming. We were just talking about pivotal and reset. And what I want to capture in this meeting is one of the four pillars, which is retention, but we're going to do a spin on how we're doing it and how we can maximize our retention and get the best results that we can. So I had a coaching call with one of the diamonds, and I had asked specifically, what can we do better? And it seemed like such a no-brainer, right? It's such a no-brainer. She said to me, three-way messages. I'm like, okay, but like that's what we are doing. And she goes, no, hear me out. You have to utilize your three-way messages. And it completely opened up a whole new spectrum of what three-way messaging was. She said, every time you sign somebody up and you send that welcome message, hey, you know, I actually have it written down, but like, hey, Amanda, like, here is all of your information. Welcome to Plexus. Here's your username, your password. But I also included my girlfriend, Sabrina, so she can be on this chat if for ever any reason I'm not here or you need a second form of contact. I am now in your message. So what that does is when we're talking to them, when you're doing your retention, so let's just say I signed somebody up and I added in Tova. I send my message, my welcome message, I add in Tova. I say, here's my girlfriend Tova. She's been in the medical field for over 20 years. I'd like to have her in here just in case we have any questions. Then Tova goes dormant. She doesn't really say much. I do all of my retention in that message. I follow up on day 3, on day 7, on day 9. I will be in there doing all of my retention, and Tova will just be in there. She'll kind of like it once in a while, or she'll shoot a comment in there once in a while, but she's not doing my job. But she's there because she doesn't want to be not in the picture when I actually really need her. So then what's going to happen is now my person, let's just say hypothetically, she comes to me in 2 months and she says, you know what, I want to quit. I have really bad stomach pains, or I'm not getting any better. Then I can say, shoot Tova a message. Hey, listen, can you jump into this message with me and Amanda? She says that she's having some trouble with her stomach. Tova comes in. Now she's not a new person to the group. So she's been in here the whole time. So she's not new. It's not like throwing them into an ice bath. You know, they haven't made up their mind yet because Tova is there. And then she comes in with third-party validation and we clear the waters. It has worked time and time again. We just put it to work the other day. I had somebody that messaged me out of the blue. They've been on the product since November. She said, I can't stop going to the bathroom. I'm canceling. Help me cancel. Added Tova right in and we completely fixed it. She's back on a strict regimen and she's starting to order again. So those are the little tricks that we like to figure out for you and pass down and duplicate. It's very, very duplicatable and very easy. So let's say if Franny is signing somebody up, she would include me. If Emily is signing somebody up, she will include Franny. We always put our upline in there. We don't call them our upline. We never do. It's always my girlfriend, my friend, whatever you want to say. But adding them into that chat is really going to help bring our retention rates up. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to strive for.
Can I
Tova, you
toss
wanna
something
add-
real quick?
Yeah.
It just makes it feel more relational, really not changing anything, because we always started a 3-way, or you should have already been starting a 3-way just to introduce us from go, even if it was previous to signing, kind of like, hey, she's here to answer your questions. So we're gonna leverage that and just keep going and build the excitement. And once they get going, you know, Sabrina's got them. And I mean, thanks. Sabrina has a whole lot of level 1s. I'm not in all those conversations. So there'll even be 3-way chats she's in that are on black for me that I haven't read and get lost 200 messages down. And she'll text me and be like, today she sent me 3 names. I need you to hop in here for X, Y, and Z. So, okay, no big deal to get in there. And if you don't, the term third-party validation should elicit a response from you. That is one of your most powerful tools in this business. So if you don't have a good idea on what that is, we can send some videos. I'll drop them in the grit group. Guys, it's the whole thing of, if you overhear, if your husband's like, you look really good in those jeans, or if you're hanging out with friends at a party and you overhear Sabrina say to me, like, did you see Leslie in those jeans? She's looking really good. Whose compliment are you going to believe? Me over Kurt? Like, duh. But the point is, but that's weird because Kurt's her husband and has more vested in her. So logic should dictate she should believe him more. But what we know our emotions do is believe the person, that third person's opinion, who we don't know as well. So that's really where this comes in. And it comes in with troubleshooting. That woman was going to quit and I just ignored it. And I was like, okay, we're just going to start over your products. We're just going to start one at a time and doing this and that. Do you understand? And she's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right, we'll talk in 2 days and see. And she's like, okay. So just, it gives you an opportunity. This is also a learning opportunity. So when Sabrina is in a chat with Franny's people, she's seen me do that, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go do that. And then when Franny's in a chat with so on, so that's really, it's not that we don't think you know, even if you do know, like I can answer questions Natalie Dolan can answer, but coming out of Natalie's mouth, my people are gonna listen to it differently than mine. So that's my 2 cents.
100%. And I've been doing something lately, like, what does that mean to me? I've been doing a Bible study, and you're supposed to write down 3 things of this new system that we're doing that makes me feel the warm and fuzzy. What makes me feel good about this new system? And I came around with 3 words that stuck out to me right off the bat. And it was relief, because retention can get stressful. It can make you feel uncomfortable. So you have your person with you. I have accountability. So
You have your safety blanket. Let's call it what it is.
It is. You have your accountability because you show up. Now you know somebody's in that chat and they're going to know if you drop that ball. So you also have accountability. And 3, backup. At any time, let's just go back to high school for a minute. You're walking up to the garbage can. Everybody knows this, by the way, unless you were homeschooled. You're walking up to that garbage can. Everybody's looking at you. You feel so much more confident with a friend standing next to you, right? Regardless of what the situation is, you feel so much more confident with somebody there with you. And that projects when you're in these conversations and you're super comfortable and you come off confident, they're going to believe you so much more. So moving on, I wanted to just open that up really fast. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Are we, like, I know there are a lot, Kristen knows most of my people, but there are a few that, like, I haven't had a 3-way conversation. Should I now introduce it?
I wouldn't even ask. I start these. I've never asked anyone. I'm going to start a 3-week chart. I start a chat and say, hey, Susan, this is my friend Sabrina. We've known each other for 10 years. She's awesome and really knows everything about Plexus. Hey, Sabrina, this is my friend Susan. I've known her since kindergarten. She might have a few questions you could answer better. And then Sabrina will take over. She knows what to say. Kristen will know, hey, Susan, nice to connect with you. What's going on? What products are you on? Or what are you taking? And you might want to give Kristen a little background before you start it. But that's why it's nice to have it started from day one. And I have ones started with Natalie from people from probably 3 or 4 years ago that, like, if I search their 2 names, it would come up and I could hop back in. And I'm going to do that and just rekindle it. So instead of you following up all by yourself, we're going to just give you kind of a group follow-up where we're not doing any of it for you, but it creates fewer steps. That's what I want you to know here. Instead of you having a chat with me, you having a chat with that person about what they wanted to order, you having this follow-up chat, they're in all these groups, like you got one spot that you're supposed to be going to. And if you want some accountability, we can try to get in there and see, like, when's the last time you talked to this person? If it's been 8 weeks, that's probably too long. Like, we should just check in. And if we can catch that, or our assistants can check it, they can just be like, hey, how are things? Did you have a good holiday? Just something. I mean, you guys, holidays alone, it's like every other month we got a freaking holiday. So you can nicely check in and be like, do you eat a lot of hamburgers? Like, what'd you eat? Franny, I couldn't think. I'm hungry, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I want a hamburger.
I was just gonna say, are you hungry?
not starving, but I would like a hamburger.
Amen to that. But absolutely, it does. It just gives you that foundation, that backup plan, that person that is there with you. So does anybody else have a question?
I have a question in regards to the 3-way validation. I was wondering whether we should try to do that with people who have not, like, canceled their Plexus orders. You know, try to get them back to start ordering again, or seeing like what can help them again. So I was just seeing if, like, that can also help, just not just with like current VIPs or new VIPs, but like people that have also like, previously ordered and haven't ordered in a couple months, or canceled and stuff like that?
I feel like you could reach out with we have a message like, hey, I know Plex. I would reach out with one single message before that.
Okay.
Would be my recommendation. I know Plexus wasn't a good fit for you in the past, but we have a lot of new products and I really feel like we could meet your goals. Would you be willing to chat again?
Okay.
And if they say yes, then I would take it immediately into the three-way and be like, Sabrina, whatever. It's so has a deeper knowledge of Plexus than I do. And I feel like might be able to answer your questions better than I could.
Okay.
Like no one's gonna be mad at extra resources.
Hey, Tova, this is Leslie. Can you put wording like that? Because I have several, I'm glad she asked that. I've got a lot of people that are watching my story that were on the product that are no longer.
You want me to drop it in here or in
yeah,
Grit
just
group?
in the grit group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll spice it up if I need to, but a lot of them, I mean, I've got more than a few that I could send that to that I know have been watching my story. So that would
You
be
should go in your
helpful.
back office and you should sort by join
The-
date or sort by subs and go to the ones with no subs on and look
Okay.
at if it's been over like 4 months, I'd say I put them in the inactive category. And yeah, all of them, you should copy and paste the message. I'll type it right now for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Especially right now when we have a new launch, we have these amazing products right now, something that's completely different than what they were using. A lot of people, this is like hype word, reset, not the detox, sorry, the fast. Like these are hype words. People are watching. My stories have been blowing up. People are loving it. So I would go back to each one, every single one, and just say, hey, Plexus just launched this amazing 3-day reset. Like it's a nutritional fast. You should definitely try it. I did it. It's amazing. My friends have done it. They had amazing results. Whatever your story is, share that, get them talking, and then include your upline. 100%. But this is prime time right now to rekindle those groups. Anybody else have a question?
I don't have a question, but I just have something to add.
Okay.
I know like I do have some people that haven't ordered in a while, but like the pivotal stuff, I like that type of wording. I did send it out to them because technically they still do have access to it. And actually one of my sisters who stopped using the product for a couple months, she actually is on Pivotal and actually like looking at the recipes, like using the recipes and doing like the workout. So like I feel like that kind of like it's just like another step, having that, and then hopefully, and like it will motivate her to like, okay, like I'm doing all this, like maybe I should start the products again, or I should look into it again. So I definitely like, for anybody out there who hasn't sent it or reached out to people who haven't ordered in a while, I definitely suggest, just reaching out and letting them know about a Pivotal, because they do have the VIP for the year. So they do still have access to it. So that's probably something that would motivate them to like, okay, let me look at this and, maybe start trying. And then, once you're in the website, you start poking around and looking at other things. I know at the bottom of Pivotal, it gives you like suggestions of like products and stuff. So, just clicking around, like it'll take you to different pages and give you more information on stuff. So I think that is also like a good, a kind of a good boost to send out to like, any customers who are still VIPs but haven't ordered in a while, something extra for them that they still have access to.
Yeah, it's another great tool to have. Again, it's something new that they did not even have access to before. So this is something to lead with. Speaking of leading, I want to go into, so we don't take up too much time, go into why the reset is also going to help with retention and how. So the reset, what they were talking about at convention is how we used to go and we used to have these welcome packs and they were $109 and then the price went up the next month. right? That was always super frustrating. Sometimes our clients either just didn't listen because they were so excited, they didn't hear that the price is going to go up, then they get upset and they cancel or they delay. The beautiful part about starting with the reset, number one, is that the reset with welcome pack is the 189. And then with the maintenance of the triplex or the weight loss advanced package, it goes down in price. That is a beautiful thing. And I stress that now. I'm like, listen, it's going to go down next month. So this isn't going to be an issue. We can do this every so many months, but going down in price is definitely key. So that is something that I have been leading with. And also having the triplex, everybody should be on the triplex. So when you do a reset, you have to have what I call maintenance products. That is what the welcome packs are. They're going to maintain what you just did. So they put in all this work and then they're just going to throw it away. Don't. Always lead with the reset and the welcome pack. Tell them this is your maintenance. This is what you're going to do in between your resets before you go for a holiday or after a barbecue or after whatever it is, a vacation. Everybody's going on vacations. Do the reset before and then maintain with your products for the next several months until your next big event. So that is how we are going to keep our retention up, is because you want to keep telling them you're going to lose your results if you don't maintain. This is how you're going to maintain your results. Tova, you want to jump in and add anything in there?
No, I completely agree with you. And we're learning as we go here with the reset. And yeah, I think it's important belief building during the reset because it's not super easy. I wouldn't say it's super hard, but as Kristen put it perfectly, if you want a bunch of results in 6 days, there's going to have to be a little bit of sacrifice. If that's flavor, if that's carbs, like whatever. And so saying like, let's make sure we continue to get your money's worth out of this. And your body is going to respond to food so much better when you start eating, and your metabolism and the way it talks to your brain and you kind of interpret what food you need and when and why is going to work so much better because you're not just reaching for stuff. I think we've all noticed like that reaching for food. And we're like, when we really think about it, we're not that hungry, but we usually have a snack at this time. So we go to get it, kind of thing. So yeah, just belief building, and that should be in that 3-way chat. And all of us, most of us now have done the reset so we can help. And anybody who has said they feel like they've plateaued, customers you've had for a while, but in that 3-way chat, just with a regular follow-up, how are you feeling on those 5 questions that we ask? And see which, and ask them, even if they're great on all of them, be like, if you could pick anything to get better on, you know, what would it be? Do you feel like you've plateaued anywhere? And then that's going to take you into the reset.
Absolutely. They go hand in hand. Plexus has done their homework and they wouldn't market this if it didn't go with what they already had. So that is what we have to leverage. We have to use this new system. Everybody falls for the bright and shiny, the sparkly, the new stuff. And then we counter it with what we have and we know it works. So they're going to get fast, flash results with maintenance. And that's what we want to make sure that we are talking about right off the bat. And in those 3-way chats, like Tova was saying, that's where your sponsor can come in and hype it back up with you. Like, oh yeah, my girlfriend just did this. Let me show you her results. So not only is it my name, my face, it's my words as well. So they're getting, again, another trifecta. So it definitely speaks volumes now that we have this and we're putting it all together.
And
so,
this follow-up thing sounds overwhelming, but it shouldn't be. Like, you're onboarding people at the beginning. So that onboarding should be done in the 3-way chat. Like if you're sending them a video or sending them the info. So we'll see all that happening. We're too busy to be sitting there monitoring if everybody's doing the stuff. So we're not looking at it like that. But unless you tell us to get in the chat, we're pretty much not gonna, unless we're stuck somewhere standing in line waiting for a plane. Like I might scroll down and try to hop in. And if you divide it into doing 3 follow-ups a day, like that's the most. And I doubt she needs to get in one of them. So this should be like a every other day or one a day thing where you're telling your sponsor, like, hey, can you encourage this person? Just something as basic as that. And we had a few people like that today. I mean, I barely said anything.
Absolutely. And you're already doing it. You're just adding us in to help. So
So yeah, look at it as help. Less work.
you muted, Tova.
It's less work for you guys. And we all have different schedules too. If it's an easy question, I'm not in the middle of something, I don't mind answering it.
Yep, same. So that is something we're going to implement. Ask your upline. My level ones, if you have any questions, come to me. I can answer anything for you, and then we're just going to duplicate down. But this is a tried and true process. This diamond who I spoke to has extremely good retention for this reason alone. So I just want to see where it takes us for the next 90 days, implement it. But what I have found is I have had the warm and fuzzy with retention. I don't think I've ever had that since I started Plexus. But knowing Tova's in those chats has made me feel so much more confident within myself, because I knew whatever they had to answer, one of us we know the answer, one or the other. So it's just been really, I guess, pivoting for my business. It's definitely a strong tool that I couldn't wait to share with all of you tonight.
And I encourage you to do the welcome call on there. It can just be the 3 of you are already in there, so you can just use the phone feature. You can ask. The video feature is better, but I know we don't all look appropriate sometimes to be on video. I'm like, decline. One of you guys the other day called me video. It was a Franny. I was like, no. But yeah, you can at least talk on the phone and just be like, hey, I just want to hear your voice, and make sure you understand how to start the triplex, because that graphic she sent sometimes is a little confusing. Do you have any questions? And just something as simple as that. Now you've started a conversation and they feel it's the same as seeing your face, just more connected. If people feel connected and relational, they will retain. So when people aren't retaining, they don't feel connected, they don't feel relational. They feel like it's a product, a target that they're just walking past. So you just have to identify, like, okay, how, this is not always true. Some people just can't manage their money and can't buy it. But think of that. And then if they can't manage their money and buy it, then we haven't shown them the value. They should have cut something else, their TV or their sodas. They shouldn't have cut Plexus. So we have more educating to do. And that's hard because every single client merits different education. You tell me enough things and like, I'm done. And other people, you have to constantly like kind of pour education into them and remind them. I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I take that every day. It is good for me. So you have to constantly refill belief and education for your people and yourself.
Yep, agreed. Going into, they have said where convention is next year, we are going to Nashville. I am beyond excited. That's where my first convention was supposed to be, and COVID happened. So this is going to be massive. But the reason I'm bringing it up now is just when we think we have enough time, we don't. They have a massive sale right now. 3 tickets for $150. 3. It was $150 for 1 ticket this last convention. Utilize this and get your people, get your whole teams. Everybody needs to be there. You just heard from 3 new girls, and they just experienced the event of a lifetime. Everybody needs to be there next year. So if you're a leader on this team, tell your teammates they have to be here. It's the 15th through the 19th, right?
I think so. The 16th and the 19th, the gala's on the 15th,
True.
which a bunch of y'all are gonna win. I just want, So I don't want to interrupt you, Sabrina. Do you have other points you're going to make, or are you wrapping up?
No, I just saw that Tessie was asking, what are the dates?
I'm going to do a video in our Empower group about how to set yourself up for success for convention next year. And just like roughly running the numbers, I mean, I think if you're not flying, if you're driving, I think you could come to convention, everything said and done, getting there, paying for the gas, buying a few outfits, paying for the food, paying for the hotel, like $1,200. People coming off convention, I want to ask, like, does that sound about right? If you had to pay a plane ticket, it's more like 15 to 2,000. I don't know if y'all have really gone back and looked, because if you have to pay, I estimated $250 for the hotel. We're trying to figure out the housing, the hotel thing a cheaper way. So as soon as we know, we'll tell you. So if we can't make the housing cheaper, then that would be more like 1,600. But if what I'm trying to tell people, the whole point of this is if you save $150 a month for 1 year, you have $1,800. And if you know you're going to have to fly, you probably need to save $200 a month, but you will have to eat. You're going to want to buy a few new outfits. If you drive, you're going to have to get gas. So I just want people to think about it now, that like if you're doing Plexus and you don't have $200 to set aside, that should be like a really specific Plexus goal to make that much extra to set aside so that you can attend convention, because these things just skyrocket your business. And anyone who's Ben can tell you, like, you view your business in a whole new light.
Very, very true. And
Do you think that, first question, would that be a helpful video to do? Would you like that video? Or is this sufficient, what I just said?
I love you, Tova. You're hilarious. Do the video. Do the video.
These people, they don't plan. They're like, there's so much money. Yes, it is. But this is like Christmas. This is not a surprise. It's coming.
I say do the video.
Okay.
Because we went back and forth and thank goodness we went, and wouldn't trade it for anything. And it didn't cost Lorraine and I that much because
Okay.
we pulled together, but yeah.
But I like to give people like worst case scenario, so that like, hey, let's try to do it for less, but so you're not surprised. All right, that's all I have.
Yeah, so just go ahead and like I said, like Tova just said, we are figuring out the room situation, but get your tickets while they're so cheap right now. Don't wait. You can register today. Once we get off this call, just go register. It is so helpful to have that ticket in hand and know that next year, I made the mistake last year. I have no idea why I did not register my husband last year and had to pay full price like 2 weeks before this convention. And I'm like, why did I do that? I could have saved myself so much money. Just do it now. You'll have 2 extra tickets. You just do the 150. You have 2 extra tickets. Bring your teammates, bring your new teammates, your dream teamers. I've been asking people who aren't even on the team yet. I said, I bought you a ticket. You want to come? Yeah.
It doesn't make you pick a name.
No.
The one thing I didn't think about is we could buy 3 tickets under our husband's account, 3 tickets under our account, and have 6. So 4 free slots. So y'all might want to think about doing that, because it doesn't require, it just says guest 1, guest 2.
Yeah, vision cast for your team members.
I've never seen it $50 ever in 4
Ever.
conventions. I've seen it like
No.
75 when you're at convention.
Yeah, that's the lowest I have seen was 75. But it's really good. Like at convention, I took a picture of an empty chair and I was like, this is your seat for next year. And I sent that out to all my dream teamers. It works. It absolutely works. But it's just vision casting and putting that ticket in somebody's pocket that wants this, but they're just not sure yet, but it commits them. So I know I said I wanted to do Frank's list, but what I want everybody to do, get your Frank's list printed out, should be done already for July, transfer it over, get your Frank's list ready. We have so much happening this month. You don't want to get caught by surprise.
Are we doing it tomorrow night, right before book club?
We are. I just had it on. I was going to mention that I just had it on our list for tonight to go over. Have it printed out because we are doing it tomorrow. We are going to have a call right before book club to do our friends list together. But if you can't make that call for whatever reason, I highly suggest that you're there. But if you can't, print it out and do it tonight. Get it done. That's going to be super, super helpful. Real fast, I want to open it up. Any more questions? I want us all to be unified. I want us all to feel comfortable enough to unmute and ask some questions. Anybody? We're all feeling pretty confident, feeling good.
I have a question. So a lot of my people I talk to on the phone for retention. So how should I implement that? Should I do a 3-way call with you or just start doing messages on Facebook with them? Because they're on Facebook, but they like to hear my voice. They like to, chit chat a little bit. And then we get into like, okay, tell me how you're doing. Like, what are you taking? Blah, blah, blah.
I would drop a summary personally after you're done. I would drop in there. It was so good chatting with you today. I'm glad you're feeling better. Or I'm sorry you're still constipated. Let me know what the BioCleanse does. So it's like a double hit. I would do exactly what you're doing because it's working. I would not stop calls. And then just if it doesn't take too much time, like one sentence in there, just like, hey, so Sabrina knows,
and she's already in that conversation. Okay. Because a lot of people like to, I'll FaceTime my people, instead of being on Facebook with it. So, all right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. This is live coaching, y'all. Ask the questions.
I'm still so proud of everybody for coming. Those of you who couldn't, you're going to be there next year.
Yep.
You know it.
Yes. It's going to be awesome.
I still can't believe we're like already like trying to figure out details for next year.
I know. It's unreal.
Got 5 days off. It'll be good though. I went and I think this year went really great, by the way. I think everybody did awesome. Everyone knew what they were supposed to do, where they were supposed to go. Everyone was very responsible, which was awesome because not all teams do that.
No, not at all. So we're only going to get better with time.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was awesome this year. The only complaint that I have was the damn drive. So Donna Wardan, if you hear me, we are flying.
Donna, my mother hates flying, and we give her Ativan and Phenergan, and she does not remember the flight.
She's gonna get Trazodone, what we give Gunner for boarding.
My dad has to help carry her on the plane. It's fine. Then they wait and get off the plane last, and she literally has no recall of the flight. It's great.
The doc is in. That is.
You're gonna have to do that for me, that's for sure.
You should test it out. You should test it for a car drive. So give you the Ativan and the Phenergan ahead of time. Take you for a car ride and bring you home and be like, did you remember? Where did we go? What did we do?
As long as I'm not behind the wheel.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hysterical.
Sorry.
Let's plan ahead and be intentional with our planning so we can all be there next year and enjoy every second of it. So if you have any questions, reach up to your upline, and I hope you guys have an amazing night. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.